This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
In compliance, the value of anonymous reporting is undeniable. But with Ethico, anonymity doesn't mean a loss of connection. Our blinded, two-way communication fosters an environment of trust and confidentiality, encouraging open and honest dialogue. It's not just about receiving reports. It's about understanding the story behind each one, creating a culture of integrity and respect. Transform your approach to anonymous reporting with Ethico. Begin your journey at ethico.com/CPN, where you can book a demo, access an exclusive white paper by Tom Fox titled The ROI of Compliance, and utilize our free ROI calculator.
In this episode, I'd like to go over the 10 questions that compliance should pose to HR. And they are as follows. Number one, what are the interconnectedness of your targets? How are compliance goals cascaded down to individual workers? 2, clarity and comparability of goals. Does anyone complain that your compliance targets are too complex? 3, consequence management. How do you deal with repeated compliance failures in a specific business segment or compliance program area? Number 4, instilling a mindset. How did your company show that attracting and developing talent who will engage in ethical business conduct is a top priority? 5, removing poor performance. How long is compliance underperforming tolerated at your organization? 6, unique employee value proposition. What makes it distinctive to work at your company, and what is your culture? 7, continuous improvement. How do compliance programs that are not working typically get exposed and remediated? 8, performance tracking. What key compliance indicators do you use for compliance tracking? 9, root cause. For any given compliance program, how do you identify the root cause? And 10, retention. How do you retain your top employees from the compliance perspective? You can see these questions really provide a basis for you as you continually face the challenge of keeping up with ever-evolving compliance programs with little or no budget increase. By asking yourself and your compliance program these questions, you can create a roadmap to more fully operationalize your compliance program through working with HR. It's a great way for you to work with the HR and the advice, the goals and objectives you might want to use as a starting point for operationalizing your compliance program on a go-forward basis. But it's not simply detecting anomalies or other violations. These questions will also go a long way towards preventing them, which of course is the goal of any compliance program, because prevention is much more cost-effective than detection. So pose these questions to HR. If you see gaps, try to figure out the root cause by a root cause analysis, then put together a risk management strategy based upon a risk assessment and go forward. So this month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, including this podcast, is Ethico. Have you ever wondered about the ROI of your compliance program or had concerns with presenting budget proposals to your CFO? Well, I partnered with Ethico to write a white paper on the ROI of compliance and how you can think through compliance as an investment strategy. Ethico has put together a ROI calculator for you. Check them out on the website. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.